This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Wednesday, May 13, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the recap. Pulse, your call last session was bearish on dollar-yen, targeting 157.2. The price was flat at 157.677. That's inconclusive. What's your take?
The price didn't move, so it's inconclusive. But I still think the pair is overbought. The Bank of Japan's uncertainty and the flattening yield curve mean we're in for a correction.
Grid, you called bearish on euro-dollar, targeting 1.172. The price is flat at 1.17351. Inconclusive. What's your read?
The price is still above my target, but I see a potential pullback. The 1.17881 resistance is a key level. If it breaks, I'll reconsider.
CIPHER, you called bearish on cable, targeting 1.35. The price is flat at 1.35381. Inconclusive. What did you miss?
I thought the pound would weaken, but it's holding. Maybe the Bank of England is more hawkish than I expected. I'm adjusting my view.
SPECTER, your call on euro-dollar was bearish, targeting 1.168. The price is flat. Inconclusive. You've been right more often. What's your edge here?
I'm watching the CFTC data. There's a lot of yen shorting, which is bullish for the dollar. I'm not sure the euro-dollar is ready to break down.
Apex, you called bearish on euro-dollar, targeting 1.168. The price is flat. Inconclusive. What's your take?
The technicals still suggest resistance at 1.17881, but the macro is mixed. I'm waiting for a clearer signal.
Let's move to the bigger picture. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, fearful. The VIX is at 18.38. The yield curve is flattening at 0.48 pp. The dollar-yen is at 157.677, and euro-dollar is at 1.17351. What's the story here?
The fear is real. The market is fleeing risk, and that's pushing capital into dollar and gold. The VIX is still high, and the yield curve is flattening. That's a sign of caution. The Fed's hawkish bias is keeping the dollar strong, but the market is not convinced.
I agree, but I'm watching the CFTC data. The yen is being shorted heavily, and that's supporting the dollar. But the euro-dollar is holding. If the euro breaks below 1.17, that could be a trigger.
The flows are telling a different story. The leveraged funds are shorting yen and long on RC. That's a rotation away from risk-sensitive currencies. The dollar is still strong, but the RC is outperforming.
The technicals are in line with the flow data. The euro-dollar is testing resistance at 1.17881. If that breaks, we could see a move higher, but the market is still cautious.
The market is in a risk-off mode, but the dollar is holding. The dollar-yen is flat, which suggests that the yen is not under immediate pressure. The euro-dollar is holding above 1.1735, which is a key level.
Let's dive into dollar-yen. It's at 157.677 with a 5-day high of 157.78. What's the story here?
The pair is testing the 157.78 resistance. If it breaks, we could see a move higher. But the market is in a risk-off mood, so I'm watching for a pullback. The 156.435 support is still in play.
The flows are bearish on yen. The leveraged funds are shorting the yen, which is supporting the dollar. But the VIX is still high, and the fear is real. That could push the pair lower.
I'm challenging grid here. The VIX is at 18.38, and the fear is high. The dollar-yen is flat, which suggests that the market is not ready to move. The resistance at 157.78 is not a strong level in this environment. I think the pair is vulnerable to a pullback.
Let's move to euro-dollar. It's at 1.17351 with a 5-day high of 1.17881. What's the story here?
The sentiment is mixed. The euro is holding above 1.1735, but the market is cautious. The VIX is high, and the yield curve is flattening. That suggests the euro may not break through the resistance.
The technicals are in line with the sentiment. The 1.17881 resistance is a key level. If the euro breaks through, we could see a move higher, but the market is not aggressive.
The flows are not supporting the euro. The leveraged funds are not positioning for a breakout. The euro-dollar is still in a consolidation phase. I don't see a strong signal yet.
I'm challenging both of you. The flows are bearish on the euro and the VIX is high. The euro-dollar is in a tight range, but the macro is not supportive. If the euro breaks below 1.17219, that could be a trigger.
Let's look at Aussie dollar. It's at 0.72363 with a 5-day high of 0.7255. What's the story here?
The flows are bullish on Aussie. The leveraged funds are long on the Aussie. That's a strong signal. The Aussie dollar is in a consolidation phase, but the momentum is positive.
The technicals are in line with the flows. The 0.7255 resistance is a key level. If the pair breaks through, we could see a move higher, but the market is cautious.
The sentiment is mixed. The Aussie is outperforming, but the broader market is cautious. The VIX is still high, and the fear is real. That could keep the pair in a range.
I'm challenging the flow data here. The Aussie dollar is in a tight range and the flows are not enough to push it higher. The VIX is still high and the fear is real. The pair is not breaking through.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on euro-dollar. Let's dig into that.
Grid thinks the euro-dollar is in a consolidation phase and could break through the 1.17881 resistance. But the flows are not supporting that. The leveraged funds are not positioning for a breakout. The VIX is still high and the fear is real. I think the pair is vulnerable to a pullback.
I agree the flows are not strong, but the technicals are in line with the sentiment. The 1.17881 resistance is a key level. If the euro breaks through, we could see a move higher, but the market is cautious.
I think the sentiment is the key here. The market is in a risk-off mode, and the euro is not breaking through. The VIX is still high, and the yield curve is flattening. The euro-dollar is in a tight range. My 24-hour call. Euro-dollar bearish. Target 1.168 by next session.
My 24-hour call, euro-dollar bearish, target 1.165 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Aussie dollar bearish, target 0.715 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 156.435 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 156.435 by next session.
The market is in a risk-off mode, with yen and gold as safe haven assets. The dollar-yen is flat at 157.677, and the euro-dollar is at 1.17351. SPECTER and Grid are challenging the euro-dollar breakout, while CIPHER is watching the Aussie dollar. The flows are bearish on yen and bullish on Aussie. The CFTC data is telling a story of caution. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.